Welcome to Marian's Music Menu Podcast. I'm your host Rian, lagging Narian for your music needs. This episode we will be talking about unauthorized music sampling. Are you guys familiar with the song Ice Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice? Well, did you know that this song is actually sampled from the song Under Pressure by Queen and David Bowie? Yes, that's right. This famous 90s hit was not only sampled, but sampled without permission from the original artist. Ooh, issue. Listeners couldn't help but notice the similarities between the two melodies. Originally, Robert Matthew Van Winkle, known professionally as Vanilla Ice, denied all the allegations of copyright infringement and insisted that the melodies were different because of the beat he added between the notes. In the end, Vanilla Ice bought the rights to the song Under Pressure for a hefty price of $4 million US, or around 200 million Philippine peso. Van Winkle also gave Bowie and Queen credit for the song Ice Ice Baby. Thankfully for Vanilla Ice, this case did not end up going to court but instead settled privately. This story fortunately had a happy ending without any serious consequences. Yay for Vanilla Ice! But not everyone gets to come out unscathed. Some gotta pay the price, baby. Get it? Cause it's ice, baby. Okay, never mind, that was a bad joke. So, first and foremost, what is sampling? According to Merriam-Webster, a sample is an excerpt from a recording that is used in a musical composition, recording, or performance. In basic terms, it is when an artist uses a part of another artist's song to make a new piece of music. It is widely accepted that the hip-hop genre was responsible for the creation of sampling in music. It was during the 1970s that hip-hop DJs from the Bronx began to use two turntables to mix and scratch record. While sampling with permission from the copyright holder is completely legal, unauthorized music sampling is indisputably against the law. Using copyrighted music recording without permission is a violation of intellectual property laws and violates the artist or songwriter's rights. It is essentially stealing from another artist's work. Even music released for free can be sued for copyright infringement. There are certain exceptions to this rule, however, like if the sample was such a minimal amount or was not detectable to the average viewer or listener. You may be able to argue that the use of the sound recording was de minimis and therefore no permission is required. But other than that, how do you not get sued? I don't want to get sued. So before you use another artist's copyrighted music, you must obtain not one but two licenses. One license for the master recording, which is usually owned by the music label, and another one for the underlying composition, which is controlled by the publisher or songwriter. But at the end of the day, it is still up to the copyright owner to give permission. Even if you go through the proper process, there is still a chance you won't be granted use of the sample. The most common reason for unauthorized sampling usually involves the expensive price and lengthy process of clearing samples, especially for independent artists. While there are no standard fees, the music publisher usually asks for an upfront advance payment of around $250 to $5,000, along with a percentage of the song's income, usually between 15% and 50%. In addition to this, the owner of the master recording will want an upfront payment, usually at least $1,000, and a rollover payment, which is made when a certain number of copies have been sold. Sometimes, instead of a rollover, the owner of the master will ask for a portion of future record royalties. While obtaining clearance for samples is usually time-consuming and costly, copyright laws are there to protect the rights of the artist, regardless of how expensive or long the process is to get permission. It's either you pay and pause or face the law. Now, I'm not totally against sampling other people's songs. In and of itself, sampling can be a good way to introduce old music to younger audiences. A good example of this is Blackpink's Shutdown, which samples Niccolo Paganini's La Campanella. Sampling is a useful tool in music, as it adds variety and flavor. But unauthorized sampling, on the other hand, infringes copyright in many ways. It is taking advantage of someone else's hard work and passing it off as your own. It is completely unethical and violates the culture of songmaking. At the end of the day, there is no excuse for stealing. Dahil kung hindi naman sa'yo, wala kang karapatan.